Hi, welcome to YABasic, the show where we read YA fantasy and avoid our adult responsibilities. I'm one of your hosts, Deadly, and I'm the official president of the Munizenic fan club.
And I'm your other host, Dani, and I was simping for every single character, even Mal. In this episode, we will be discussing the Netflix adaptation of Shadow and Bone. First of all, we need to issue an official apology because if you listened to our Grishaverse episode where we talk about the Grishaverse books, at the end of that episode, you will hear us dragging certain members of the cast. Now, this was a mistake.
Yeah, we're clowns.
This was a mistake.
Fully, I'm putting on my clown makeup right now because this cast.
We are holding up our hands and admitting that we were wrong. To be fair, I don't think we dragged everyone. I think we only dragged Matthias.
And then Matthias is the most beautiful member of the cast.
And it's really ironic because literally I think straight after we finished recording that episode, we were looking through all the pictures on IMDb and then I kind of went, Deadly, I know we dragged him, but he is really hot.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at him again, I'm thinking, actually, I think we've made a mistake here.
We fully made a mistake.
But yeah, this is our official apology to everyone that produced and made Shadow and Bone because we should never have doubted you for a second.
Fully.
We're sorry.
The casting was perfection, absolutely. Oh, okay, so we are going to, like we usually do, we're going to start with dislikes and then move on to the likes so we can finish on a high point. And just as a preface, obviously we're going to talk about dislikes, but as a whole, we really enjoyed the series. We thought it was a great adaptation. Yeah,
nothing's ever perfect.
No.
I think it's really healthy to criticise things that you love and not hold them to a really high, like a god tier type thing, because everything can improve, and that's what we're doing. We're not saying any of this made it bad.
Mm-hmm.
We're just saying what we didn't like as much as other things. That's what we're saying when we say our dislikes. So let's go with our dislikes. And now the first thing on the list, and I feel like we're going to get a lot of messages and comments about this first thing because this is a gatekeep free zone.
Yeah.
YABasic is a gatekeep free zone. We welcome anyone who wants to read the books, anybody who doesn't want to read the books. This is for everyone. This podcast is for everyone. But I think one thing that I think you brought this up, Deadly.
Yeah, I did.
To begin with, because I didn't really notice it. I was just disregarding it. That they don't call the dregs the dregs. They refer to them as the crows.
Yeah. And all over social media, they're like, the crows. And then I've got people who haven't read the books, like, to me, being like, oh my god, the crows are my favourite part. And I'm like, sorry, who are the crows? Like, they're the dregs.
I know, I'm like, bitch, who's the... Sorry, this is really funny. This is just my friend Keely just messaged me. This is actually to do with this. It's quite relevant. She went, I know you're recording the podcast right now, but I just saw a spoiler for King of Scars and it better not be true. Oh. And I'm like, oh. Bestie, probably is.
Probably. I mean...
Maybe it's not even King of Stars. Maybe it's Rule of Wolves. I can't see the message.
It might be Rule of Wolves, TBH. As of recording this, I have finished Rule of Wolves, and I'm not going to say any spoilers, but it has emotionally scarred me for life. And thank you for that, Leigh Bardugo.
It's really funny. I'm going to say what the message said. Actually, she said, "Oh no, I'm not because it's a spoiler for the book, so I'm not going to." But it is really funny, and it's a spoiler for Rule of Wolves and not.
Oh shit!
And not King
You'll
of
have to tell me afterwards.
Yeah. That's really funny that she didn't know that. Sorry.
Okay.
Let's carry on with this crows thing.
How funny that that's like actually accurate though. Yeah, the crows, I feel like I'm warming up to it, but just because I've known them as the dregs for so long, it just has the same energy as when Shadowhunters called us angels. And we were like, sorry, who are the angels? Like, no.
Literally, do you know what? It's not even, if they were calling like the crows the fans,
Yeah.
I really wouldn't be bothered, but it's the fact that they're calling the dregs the crows, and they say it in the show.
Yeah,
I'm
they
sure
do.
they say it in the show.
They
They're like
do.
the crows, and I'm like, who?
They're like Kaz's crows, yeah. And it's I get the whole line about like crows remembering who are kind to them because that is in the book. But I just like the dregs, and like I think they do say the dregs at the start, and then it becomes the crows.
Yeah. Maybe that's why I just didn't acknowledge that they were saying the crows, because I heard them say the dregs, and I was like, the dregs, and then
Yeah,
I don't know. We need to rewatch it, but I
honestly.
think no, I just don't like that. I think it needs to be the dregs because
Maybe.
it's the Crow Club, and I think it's a bit cringe and cliche to call them the crows when it's like six of crows and the Crow Club, and
it's like, yeah, we get it, crows, but like, oof.
Because they're the dregs, like the dregs of
Society.
Coffee, like,
yeah, they're like,
dregs of society.
they're like the bottom of the barrel. That's literally, they are, because they're in the barrel. Like, that's the whole...
They're in the barrel. Yeah, that's the whole thing. See, no, I'm not behind this crows thing.
But
I don't like it.
But I do love them. Like, we'll get onto that later, but they...
Yeah, I love them, but I don't like the name crows.
No, they'll always be the dregs in our heart.
Yeah. We know them as the crows are always going to be the crows. Nothing's going to change that. Not even a silly little Netflix show. Joking. I love the show so much. But you're not going to change my mind. They're the dregs.
Yeah.
And I'll say the dregs out of principle.
Yeah, same. Literally. That's my one bit of pride.
Wait, I forgot we've got that on the list twice. That's really funny.
Have we actually?
Yeah.
We literally do?
We hated it that much. It's on the list twice.
Well, that's fine.
Okay, so I feel like that's that. Well, it's pretty straightforward. Yeah. We don't like the crows. It's the dreg supremacy.
Yeah.
Now, this is a little bit more serious dislike that I have. Maybe, okay, so first of all, we'll probably start on the racism storyline that Netflix have added.
They just added it. Like, it wasn't in the original source material.
No, it isn't. It isn't in the books. If you haven't read the books... if you didn't know, so in the show they cast Jessie May Lee as Alina, and she's obviously she's Asian.
Yeah.
So they made Alina part Shu. So I don't know why.
Yeah,
I thought that,
like, especially we were discussing it because like the Grisha themselves are kind of a metaphor for outcasts or minority. So it just felt really bizarre to have like overt racism, and especially for a character that is supposed to want to save her country. Like, why would she want to save a country that, like, in the war, like in the army, they wouldn't even feed her because she was part Shu?
I know, it honestly, you know what it was? It was just, it's so bizarre to me as well, because especially coming from the perspective that I've read the books, we don't really see any racism occurring between the different races, apart from like the prejudice that people have against like the Suli, who were like almost like travellers.
Yes.
And that's mild at best.
Yeah, at best.
It's not overt. No one's refusing to feed anyone.
No.
Like calling them slurs.
Yeah, and like the servants saying that she should change their eyes.
And you know what it is? It's Netflix always do this. They just add in these racist storylines. I can't fathom why, because they don't add anything to it. If anything, this is kind of a deterrent to the story, like what you said, Dani, about her wanting to fight for
Ravka,
like, for Ravka, and like save the Ravkan people, because I just don't. Like, I guess obviously the way that they're doing it is that she's rising above the racism. She's being the bigger person by helping these people. But
like, it's
hard for me to sympathise. Yeah. And I don't think that we should be saying that we should just rise above racism.
No, and like
I don't like it.
It just goes against the whole. It felt odd, and it made me feel it kind of, because I was adoring the show, and like I mean I do in general, but like it broke that immersion for me. Like, I was so in the world, and then when the racism, it just jarred it away a bit. I was like, oh, this
It
doesn't
made
feel
it
like
feel really,
Grishaverse.
yeah, it made it feel really like real. Like,
And like, we've
I don't
said
know.
it once, we'll say it a million times. If you're in a fantasy world, why add racism?
Exactly. We did have said this before. I just don't understand. Why have you got to make someone? You say they did this with Bridgerton. It's like, yeah, let's blind cast it, make the protagonist a black man, and add like black protagonists into the storyline, and then just shove in a random racism storyline like, oh, our people are only this because our queen's black, so she gave us the right. Why did you need to say that?
Yeah,
Why
like,
couldn't you just? You're in a fictional world, and it's the same with this. Can you just not make someone POC and then not make them have to go through the double struggle of it's a fantasy world? So why have they got to endure the racism that they would in like real life? And not only that, she's Grisha and she's
like,
she's not
literally.
white, so now she has to go through the racism of being Shu and also the prejudice of being Grisha, which is like a double whammy again for people of colour.
Completely. And it's like, and even like the poster that they had of the shoe was really racist in the way it was drawn as well. I was just like, why?
It was just like constant as well. Like, it wasn't like, we'll talk a bit more about Zoya in a minute because I'm not really happy about that. But it's like when Zoya says it, when Zoya calls her like, says that slur, I was just, that was even worse because Zoya is a woman of colour. Yeah. Zoya is a woman of colour, so why would she? And she's also half Suli.
Yeah, she's half Suli.
So I don't understand why they made her say that. And then like later on, she turns around to the like noble woman at the party, and she goes, "Oh, I didn't know this Suli, like this Shu could do this." And then like Zoya turns around and goes, "Oh, she's Suli, like she's sticking up for her because she's also Suli." And I just think also I just do not get that.
It's bizarre. Like,
and
I feel like they put it in to kind of, I don't know, reinforce Zoya as that kind of mean girl character, but it just didn't, like, that's not what Zoya is. That's the whole, like, the opposite of what Zoya is.
Well, yeah, but that didn't really I didn't really understand why they added that in if they wanted her to go for that mean girl character, because it was almost like she was defending. Well, she wasn't defending Alina, but she was defending Inej because she was also. I just didn't like it. I just thought it was really tasteless. Yeah, I just didn't get it. I don't think we went into enough detail. I don't know why they made Zoya say the slur. What
of all characters, why Zoya?
Why? I didn't get it. I didn't like it. I had a conversation with one of my mutuals on Instagram who's also a woman of colour, and she said that she sees it as like Zoya's internalized racism that made her like say that. And where I can see where you're coming from with that, I just don't think Netflix have thought that deep into that, and that's the reason that they did it. I don't for a second. By all means, if they go into that in the next season and we go through a whole thing where Zoya's like internalized her hatred for being different, by all means do it and like execute it properly, and I guess I'll see it more. But I don't have the faith in Netflix for them to do that because they do it too many times.
Yeah, completely.
They've done it with so many other things. Like they do it, like they did it in Riverdale. They just do it in everything.
Riverdale. They did it in Winx. They've done it in like, it's literally like, it kind of negates the point of doing, like, they always do such fantastic diverse casting, but then put a racism storyline in it. So it's like you're negating the point of doing the whole point of like diverse casting is to show that kind of people of all walks of life can be the hero of a story, can have this amazing, and like not be encumbered by racism. And it's just, it knocks it back to like 1 step forward, 10 steps back, because it's like, oh my god, all these amazing leading characters, but then having their story rooted in a struggle which is the whole, like, that's what you're trying to overcome by doing this casting. It's so misguided.
Exactly. And you know if we like were at the Little Palace the Little Palace, and like her and the Darkling were talking, and she was like, I've been treated differently because of my like shoe heritage, and I'm not gonna let it like hold me back. I'm not gonna do this. She went and did, and I would have probably appreciated it a little bit more, but she just does not mention it. No. It's like she just ignores it.
Yeah, literally.
And you can't just ignore it for the rest of your life. Like and if they go down some storyline where she like becomes like Sankt-YA, and they just look past the race because she's now a saint, that will make me even like madder, because
it disappeared in the last two episodes.
Yeah,
no one
exactly.
mentioned anything. Like when he brought her out to like go onto the skiff and like the fold, like all these dignitaries from all these different countries didn't bat an eye. So
I know.
I'm like, why?
And, like, the Queen said that. Like, what did the Queen say?
Oh my
to
god,
her?
the fucking Queen assumed she couldn't speak Ravkin.
Oh my god, I literally cringed out my skin.
And I was
that
like,
was
the Queen is Fjerdan. That's like a whole point. She is also an immigrant.
I just have no clue what the hell is going on, like, with this story. Like, it's really all over the place. It's not been well executed. I'm not a fan.
No.
I'm not a fan
at all. That's our main dampener on the whole show, is that adding racism.
That racism plot. And then, like, why didn't Jesper face any racism?
Yeah.
You know, it's just questions. I have questions about things that I just don't get. Is it just the shoe that no one likes? Why does Jesper never face any racism? Are they okay with the Zemini but not
the shoe?
The shoe? I don't get it. And it just doesn't get brought up.
Yeah.
I just don't get it. Like, I really didn't like it. I thought it was just done very poorly, and I especially did not like it when Zoya said it. Like, I remember me and Deadly were like live talking while we were watching, and I was like, what did she just say?
Yeah.
I said, what did they make her say? Because it's just so out of character. She would never, ever.
And I think especially because me and Dani are both reading Rule of Wolves right now, we're so connected with Zoya as a character that we know she would never. Speaking of being connected with Zoya as a character, let's dive into Zoya, because what did they do?
They just so... I literally said this to Deadly. I was like, I think I really blame me for this, because anytime I have a favourite character who I genuinely have a strong connection... Like, I literally said to Deadly, I was like, I've never resonated with a character more than I have Zoya. And that's the honest truth. I just love her. I think she's phenomenal. And if you haven't read the books, I 100% recommend you do, just for Zoya's like redemption and her story arc, because it's phenomenal.
It's unmatched.
But yeah, it is. But this happens to me every single time. Every single adaptation, my favourite character gets screwed over. It's mostly female characters. If it's a male character, they normally do quite well, but no, every single female character. Let me just give you an example. So in Harry Potter, my favourite character is Ginny Weasley. Now, we all know what happened to Ginny Weasley in the films. They did her dirty. David Yates really said, let's suck all the personality out of that woman and make her crap. So then I also love Isabel Lightwood. Isabel Lightwood shaped who I am today. And then not once did she get ruined. She got ruined twice. And I'm going to give Em a little bit of credit, because I did love Em's... If you haven't watched Shadowhunters on Netflix, can't say I recommend it. I can't.
No, we can't say that with our full chest, but...
No, I can't. But if you're going to watch it, just beware, and you've read the books. Yeah, they really sent Isabel on a wild ride for no reason. Like,
literally for no reason. Again, doesn't further the plot. I just think they're scared of strong women. That's it.
They are. The media are scared of strong female characters because they know that they're going to breed a whole generation of anarchists.
Literally.
So they just make them crap, and they tame them down, and they just make them rubbish. And that's what's happened with Zoya. And that's my fault for loving her so much. You love something too much, and because I literally said to Deadly, I was like, oh, maybe I'm just being really critical of her because she is my favourite. And I was like, maybe it is my fault, I'm just being critical. But then, like, I hear Deadly talk about Nina, and I'm like, no, that's right, Nina's fantastic. Completely. Zoya is just crap.
Like, thing is, and that's what confuses me, is they did Nina so well, and we'll get onto that later, and she's also a very strong female character, but Zoya, I think because Zoya as a character is so complex in the first 3 books, and then how we've got to her where she is now, but and especially the bit that I was pissed off at, and it was immediately from that first scene in her tent, when Mal went in to get those little grapes, and they just reduced her to like this sex kind of kitten or whatever.
Symbol.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
She was just like, oh, I like to tumble before I go into whatever. And I'm like, no.
Honestly, it was over-sexualization of her character.
Completely.
Because, do you know what it is? Because women are allowed to be comfortable in their sexuality. I'm absolutely not going to slut shame anyone. I'm comfortable in my sexuality. Deadly, I'm sure you embrace your... Do you know what I mean? Like, I just... And it's like, they were almost slut-shaming her.
Yeah.
Like, the way that, like, Mal rejected it. Because in spoilers, if you haven't... It's mild spoilers if you haven't read the book.
Like,
but in the book,
chapter.
it's very much so a two-way thing between Mal and Zoya. Mal and Zoya they sleep together. They have relations.
Yeah.
They sleep together, and it's a mutual thing. They were flirting with each other. It's a mutual thing. If anything, I don't know if this is right, but if anything, I got the impression that Mal
pursued it. He did, because because I've read them more recently than Dani. In the first chapter, Zoya drives past in a carriage, and her and Mal look at each other like, "Ooh, we're both hot." And then he literally straight to Alina's face while he's talking to his friends goes, "I'm gonna go tumble a Grisha girl." And then he goes to her tent and begs her to, like, he literally... So Zoya, like, throws him a bone and sleeps with him because she thinks he's hot.
Do you know what's really funny? So I said to Deadly, I was like, they've just taken all of Mal's bad parts and given them to Zoya. And then when you just said that, that's exactly what she said.
Yeah, literally.
In the show.
Literally.
She literally said, she was like, oh, I like to tumble. But that's what he said in the book.
Yeah, she was like...
This is just bullshit.
They've literally swapped them.
They've literally taken Mal's horrible personality traits and given them to Zoya. For what?
For what?
Just take them away from everyone. Like, Zoya can still be a vapid bitch to begin with, but she can also not be racist and not be like throwing herself at everyone.
Literally, yeah, because she threw herself at the Darkling later as well.
That was weird, yeah, when she threw herself at the Darkling, and that's just really odd because in the books, again, sorry, spoiler guys, but not really, it's just a mild. She idolizes the Darkling that she likes. She's his like favorite. Like one of his favourite Grishas.
Yeah, she's like his chosen soldier. Yeah. Again, mild spoiler, but she, from her backstory, I'm not going to go into it properly, but we understand that she doesn't, like, she views her looks as like a means to an end, but she doesn't play off them because that's not what she's comfortable in. Like, she values people for appreciating her strength, for thinking she's a force to be reckoned with, not for thinking she's beautiful. So for her to be like, oh, come hither, it's like, what?
It's like she would never, like, she just wouldn't seduce people into thinking that she wouldn't seduce people into giving her the time of day because she would want to prove herself. She
demands respect. She's like,
she demands respect, but not in a sexual way. Yeah,
no.
She doesn't need to because she is that bitch. Like that's what we're missing here. Like, I know like a lot of people probably didn't like Zoya. I know after a time when I spoke to you, you were like, oh, I don't know about Zoya. And I think when I spoke to Keely when she read the books, she was like, oh, I don't like her. And I was like, yeah, I kind of understand that, but I just really like bitchy characters. Completely. And so she just like resonated with me since day one. But I could see that it was coming from I want to prove my worth, I like being the best type of thing. Completely. Rather than I'm horrible now, I'm a horrible person, because I didn't get that. It was jealousy. That she was jealous of Alina.
She's worked her whole life to get to where she is, and then Alina just turns up one day and is wearing the Darkling's colour and sat next to him and going to a ball with him, and she's like, I've worked my whole life to even just be his like chosen warrior, and now
Yeah.
I'm nothing, and you're here in his colour that he's like. They didn't even go into that in the show that in the Little Palace and the court, Darkling is the only one who wears black. Like, he's the only one who's allowed to. So that when he gets Alina to wear that black kefta, it's such a symbol of him owning her, but also him like respecting her. And Zoya has worked so hard, and like literally puts in that grind, and is so fucking talented. And just to have this girl show up and upstage her, it's
I just don't get me wrong. Zoya's had her faults, like, and
completely. She's not perfect.
She's not the slightest bit perfect. But I just think I'm struggling to see how she's going to come back from this. When she said that slur, I was like, oh.
Literally,
my God.
Like,
I literally couldn't believe it. I was like, I can't believe that they've done this, because I just don't know how she's going to come back from that. How do you justify that?
And then in the last episode when they hugged, what the fuck?
Oh God, yeah. When Ekalina hugged her at the end, I was like, she would lose an
they
arm.
would literally never, like maybe third book, yeah, but no.
No, she wouldn't ever hug her. I just thought she let her. I was like, maybe it's because obviously they mentioned her aunt, which you don't find out about until like not even in
King
that
of Scars.
series.
It's King of Scars, yeah.
And then King of Scars, or maybe the last one.
No, it's King of Scars. You don't fight, because I remember listening to King of Scars and being like, oh shit.
King of Scars. So I just.
And like, when she was telling Ivan on the skiff, like, oh, I volunteer to drive these skiffs because I get to go visit my aunt, I was like, Zoya would never. She is like a closed book. She'd be like, sit down, shut the hell up, bitch. Like, it was frustrating, and especially because I know you adore her so much. Like, I think she's a really fantastic character, and actually her character development in the books is probably the best character development I've ever seen for any fictional character ever. So I really respect her as a character, but I was mostly like, oh my God, why are they doing this to Dani's Bay again?
I know, I can't win. But I do love her. I'm giving, you know what? The woman who plays Zoya, she's so beautiful, and I know that if they wrote her better, that she would do her justice, because she's so beautiful. I just see so much of Zoya in her, and I just wish they would give her a better story. Like I said, I love the cast, all of them. I just think they're really well cast, and I think that she would make a fantastic Zoya if they gave her the opportunity. It's nothing to do with her performance. I think that she did a good job. I just think it's the writers that have really done Zoya dirty.
Completely.
I think it's because she's like mixed and I'm also mixed, so I just relate to her on a different level than
definitely
any other character. But I just hopefully maybe I just need to wait, and they will bring her character back, and we will get some redemption, and we'll get that.
I really hope so.
Explanation about why she said that to Alina, and we'll get a nice apology, and we'll see. Doubt it, but we'll see. Let's move on.
Yeah.
So we've got dislikes. How do we feel about Mal? Now, I don't know if you guys follow me on Instagram at Gathering Storm Cosplay, but I did post a reel on there, and also I posted it on our TikTok at YABasic Podcast. But I was big time simping for Mal in the show, and this is a Mal this podcast is a Mal hate zone. Mal.
I mean, we literally ranted for him about like 45 minutes in the Grishaverse episode.
If you've listened to our Grishaverse episode, we literally despise Mal in the books. We hate him. But I don't know what the writers did to Mal in this one, but he was
changed his entire
character. I don't know, I really liked him. It's in the dislikes, but I really loved him.
Well, it was I put it on the dislikes because I was like, that's why I put how we feeling about Mal, because I'm like, I don't know how I feel, because I feel like I love the show character, but I'm conflicted because I want to hate him because of the books. Yeah.
I think we're going to have to just take it as two separate identities that we've
completely
got Bookma and we've got...
The bit that made me realise, so when Alina escapes from the Darkling, and he catches up with her in the woods, and Alina's like, oh, I made some bad decisions at the Little Palace, And he was like, you don't have to worry about it. We all do what we have to do to survive, da da da. I was like, sorry, who is this? And what have you done with
I
Milo
know.
Nemetsev? Because in the
like
books...
mild spoiler, but in the books, he just like slut shames her.
Yeah, he does. And that was
He's
my
like, "You
main
whore."
point of hate with Mal, is that he literally slut shames her and really judges her for what she does, even though she just kissed the Darkling. And he fucking slept with Zoya and boasted about it to her in the first chapter of the book.
Exactly.
And sleeps with like half the girls in the First Army. So I'm like...
Yeah. Oh god, yeah. He like literally is shagging everyone in the First Army.
Yeah, literally,
and
he's like
then,
slept with
shagged Zoya.
everyone.
You know what? You just reminded me when he was like, "I'm going to tumble a Grisha tonight." I hate that man. I hate Mal. I hate Mal. How dare he say that?
Oh.
How dare he?
And then in the show, when he was like, "I'm scared of Grisha witches," I was like, "Fuck off." Like, this is not Mal. This isn't Mal. And when he was like, "Oh no, I'm not going to sleep with you. I'm going to go take a lead of these grapes because I know she's sat drawing." Like, what?
That's just so out of character for Mal. Like, Mal is just the worst in the book.
But in the show,
he's like, "Oh my god, you're Grisha? Absolutely not. Don't stay away from me. I don't even know you anymore." Literally. And then in the show, he's like, "Wow, you're so talented, Alina. You're phenomenal." I'm like, "Excuse me?" I was like, "Excuse me?"
Literally, I was shocked. I was like, we're gonna look like fools for hating him, because everyone's gonna be like, "Why do you hate him so much?" And it's like, well,
and yeah, Archie Renault is flipping beautiful as well.
Oh,
Jesus!
Oh.
Wow. I mean, did you watch that thing that he was in with Ben Barnes, the Gold Digger?
No.
It was on BBC. It was on like BBC One or something, and it had like, it was about this older woman. She was like in her 50s, and she like goes to an art museum, and she meets this like younger guy, and it's Ben Barnes.
Amazing. And
Archie is in that, and he's the woman's son.
Okay.
So they're in that together. So when they got announced for like Shadow and Bone, I was like, "Oh, what, from like Gold Digger?" But incredible. In that, he's got blonde hair.
Oh.
Yeah, and he's got still got these dark eyebrows. He's really hot. So I definitely recommend you watch Gold Digger if you're a fan of Archie. That.
Amazing.
It's really good. And Ben Barnes, obviously, he's beautiful in it.
Ben Barnes is always a good decision. Like,
yeah. I feel like we can go talk about Mal a bit more later on in the likes.
Yeah, we will. He's in the likes. But we're
going back to Zoya.
Yeah, we're going back to Zoya. And so Nina, as a character, I think they did really well. But I was at first a bit salty that they didn't cast her proper plus size. But the actress who portrayed her did her phenomenally. But also, I thought that the Nina and Zoya erasure in this show.
Yeah, it's when it's when Zoya makes that horrible comment to the Darkling about like her. This is another thing. When the Darkling is going, "I need Nina Zenik back." What?
Why?
Why would you give a shit? That's the thing. Like, he would never. He just does not. What?
Like,
he's like, that never happens in the book. And then, like, Zoya turns around and goes, her kefta's a little bit too tight. If you know what I mean. Sorry, we're going in with the fat phobia as well.
Literally.
In the mild spoiler, guys, in the books, Zoya and Nina have a fantastic relationship. They get on so well.
Yeah, like Zoya's like her mentor, her sister, her like and like especially again, mild spoiler for I think King of Scars and Rule of Wolves. It really dives into their relationship a lot more, and like how Nina learns a lot of how she functions as a Grisha, as a person from Zoya. And I was just like, and again, mild spoiler for the books, when Nina is captured, that's supposed to be on a mission with Zoya, and that's a lot of the part of Zoya's guilt around a lot of things, is that she was supposed to be responsible for Nina when she gets captured.
Yeah.
So it's just, I was just like, you've lost that. It's such a crucial part of their relationship. And then to again have Zoya make that comment about her, when Zoya is so proud of Nina and everything that she does.
And we've already discussed this. She doesn't judge people on the way that they look.
No.
Because she doesn't hold that. It's not that standard. It's not. She wouldn't judge people on the way they look on how much of a good Grisha they were.
No.
Not at all. Like, I just think, like, that was just such a poor decision.
Yeah.
For her to say that about Nina. It really upset me because, like you said, their relationship is so sacred. They're like, Zoya's like her older sister.
Yeah, literally.
Like, and like was her mentor, and I just think that was just her making that comment was so inappropriate.
Yeah, because you identify so much with Zoya and I identify so much with Nina, I think their relationship in the books is very special to us anyway.
Yeah.
So it just felt wrong. I was like, I want to vom. Why would she even? And then why was the Darkling even talking about Nina? Because he just wouldn't.
She's like irrelevant.
She literally is.
That isn't me saying that Nina's relevant.
No, but
she's irrelevant to the Darkling.
Well, to the core, and like when she's captured, she's like in training. She's not a full-fledged like Grisha soldier. So it's like
exactly.
Anyway, fine.
I think they kind of do make her a soldier, like a full-fledged soldier in the show, because she's
they made her like a spy,
languages.
Like a triple agent, which I guess is
a bit premature.
Yeah, because like that's much later on that she's like where she is now. If that like she, when we meet her in Six of Crows, she's a lot less experienced in kind of subterfuge and spy-ness. Yeah, it's an interesting one. Speaking of interesting ones, I really didn't vibe with the Darkling not really being called the Darkling for most of the show.
Why did they not call him the Darkling? I'm sorry, what was the purpose of that? General Kerrigan.
Like, what? Where was that from? What?
Why does he want to be called General Kerrigan? Why would he? I'm sorry, the Darkling is a narcissist. He would never want to be called General. He loves the god type thing that the title the Darkling gives him. He loves that. He gets off on power. So why would he want to be called General Kerrigan?
Oh, he doesn't
even act modest. The man's the only one allowed to wear black in the whole court, and he wants to be called General Kerrigan.
No.
You know what that is? Do you know what that reminds me of? Sorry, if you've probably already heard everyone. If you're a fan of Shadow and Bone, you've probably already heard everyone talking about Nikolai. That is something that Nikolai would do. He would want to be called like a general to make himself more relatable to the people.
Completely.
So I don't. And him and Nick and the Darkling are not meant to be similar.
No,
so I don't know why they're doing this. I just don't know why they're mixing up all these characters' personalities. It doesn't work, and it's not going to work in the long run. And
then him saying, "Call me Alexander" to Alina in like the second episode, I was like, excuse me, because in the books, that is like almost last chapter, we find out what his name is.
Yeah, and it's a shocker. It's like,
it's like oh my god,
that's vulnerable.
Moment.
Yeah, he's vulnerable
because it makes him more human, and like for him to just be in like the gates of the little palace, like call me Alexander. I'm like,
call me Alexander, everyone. Alexander is my name. And he's like screaming it from the top of his shop. I'm like, okay, we all know that now.
Like it's supposed
Alexander
to be a thing that only Alina knows his name, right?
Yeah, maybe unless she told Mal, I don't know.
She probably did. I mean, but like.
Pillow talk.
Yeah, lol. I think it just jarred me a lot when she was like, "Oh no, Alexander would never." I'm like, "Stop! It's the Darkling."
Alexander would never. The Darkling. It's the Darkling. We all know.
It's the Darkling. Capital T, capital T, the D, the Darkling.
TD, the Darkling. I don't know what they're doing trying to make him look. See, this is like when you said like Ben Barnes was like, I can't really see what the Darkling's done wrong, to be honest, and I was like, yeah, because they're making him a bit too human.
They really are
in the show, because in the show, really, did he do much wrong apart from the collar?
No, literally,
and kill
like,
a load of racists.
and like, because so basically there was an interview with Ben Barnes where he said the only thing that he felt really uncomfortable doing as the Darkling was giving Alina the blue irises, because he stole that information from Mal and it feels like an invasion. And like,
Oh my god, sorry, what the hell was that? What's her favourite flower?
but like,
the blue irises. Oh, okay.
it was
Notes
just,
to self. Blue
irises.
irises. She likes them.
like, it was weird
Fucking
anyway.
nerd.
But like, the point of the Darkling anyway as a villain, why he's so compelling, is that you kind of get his motives and his struggle, but he just goes around it the wrong way because he's been alive for so long. He's lost all his humanity, and that's what the betrayal is you kind of fall in love with him as Alina does, and then you realize that he's done all these atrocious things, and you're like, oh, I feel betrayed as well.
Yeah.
But in the show, it was like, oh, I kind of just, I see why he did it all. Like,
oh god, yeah. And then what are we doing? Oh god, he killed the healer that he loved. What?
like, where did that come from?
The healer. Excuse me. No, the man's a fucking nutcase.
Literally, he's unhinged.
A psycho. He's literally unhinged. He's craving power, and he like loves it, and he gets off on it. It's not that he was done dirty by some soldier that murdered his lover. No, that just doesn't.
That didn't happen. Like, he craves power.
Stop making him human. Stop making him human and likable. It's just not it. I don't like that.
Also, it's not on our list, but I don't know how I feel about the amplifier being inside her.
It was more atrocious. It was gross to see.
It was really like, and then the bones like
my
sticking out.
Are like itching now. But it was gross. But I kind of
I see
saw
why
it
they
as
did
a collar. I thought it was meant to be a collar. So yeah, it's a collar like she's a slave.
Yeah, it is, and it's because David's supposed to mold the bones to so they join at the back, so she can't take it off. And then when she's in hiding, she has to wear a scarf, and it's kind of this symbol of like she can't get rid of it because it's always around her neck, and it always reminds her.
And it's not easy to hide.
No, and it just feels weird. Like, I'm just like, why is it inside her? And then why was a part of the bone in his hand? Like, because like it kind of, for me, it took away the power of her realizing, because she did realize it in the show that by choosing not to kill the stag, she also owned its life and its decision. So then I felt it kind of took away, like when she knocked the bone out of his hand, that was like, that's what was disconnecting. Whereas in the books, her having that own realization and she can kind of reclaim her own power is so much more powerful.
Yeah, it's like she like slapped it out of his hand. Wow, whoopee-doo now. But yeah, I still like, this is like my inner Zoya. I see it because like when she was sat there with that fucking stag, I was like, fucking kill it. I was like, just do it. And in the fucking book, I was like, just please. I was like, I'm sorry. I know it's horrible. Like, I would struggle as well. I'd be like, oh, I'm really sorry. But I just kill it because I could not let him do that.
In the book, it's horrifying because obviously the stag is so injured and she's like next to it and it's like dying slowly and she still won't kill it.
I know. And I was like, the baby...
Just put it out of its misery.
That's
it's
no
already
coming back
gonna die. Yeah.
I was like, literally, just do it fast, and literally the same in the show. I was like, please. I was like, Aline, I know you're not gonna, but please, just do it. I was like, you can't. Why would you want him to have that power? And I think this is why I do like Alina, but I think that's why she was not one of my favourite characters because I was just like, please, but I'm sorry. There's a time we would all forgive you for doing that. We're not going to hold that against you. That was like a life or death situation for you and the stag. We would have understood. We would not have, like, that was not like a character flaw for you to have killed that. And then she just didn't do it anyway. And I thought, and so when he put the collar on her, it was like, you kind of bought that yourself.
Yeah, you did that.
If you'd have just done it, we wouldn't be having this problem. But... go off. But no, I don't know. I didn't hate it. I didn't hate the colour in the skin, but I thought it was cool. I was like, I could see why they've done that from a visual
standpoint. But I love the idea of a collar more, and then then as things go further, it kind of represents her sainthood, like the image of like a collar. So, speaking of things that were painful to watch, Mal's boys.
Oh, Jesus, fuck. I literally messaged Deadly and was like, I'm not ready for the boys to die. I'm not, because I really liked them in the show. I thought they were really funny, and I really liked that they like were Mal's boys and they had like a bromance going. Like me, like Deadly and I. So I'm a massive fan of the Marauders and Harry Potter. If you follow me on TikTok, I make Marauders content on there. They're my babies. I've loved them since I was 13 years old. I'm an OG Marauders fan, but like I love like a boys' friendship group where they have. I'm a sucker for it. I love it in the Shadowhunters books with the Merry Band of Thieves.
Yeah,
and I loved it in the show. I thought, oh my god, my boys, they're having banter, they're like having a rapport, and then I just knew that their death was going to be painful. And it hurt me.
And it was harrowing.
It was horrific. It was horrific.
Like, they didn't have to do that. They really... They didn't. Oh, it was awful.
It was violent. It was awful and violent, and they deserved a nice, quick death, and that was not what that was.
They literally got absolutely destroyed. And it was...
They got slaughtered, and they were, like, screaming, and I was like...
When he, like, got stabbed in the chest and was, like, howling, I was like, why did you do this?
Why did they do that? That was just... There was no need to hurt me like that.
Oh, I was sat there with my mouth open, like, oh.
The deer got a nicer death than that.
Literally, the deer just got fucking the cut.
Yeah. But yeah, the cut's a nicer way to go than what they got.
Literally.
The poor boys.
I know, we'll talk about it in likes, but I died when the Darkling first did the cut, and Nina was just... Not Nina. Why do I keep calling Alina Nina? And Alina was just... Yeah. And Alina was just lying on the ground, like, covered in blood, like, ooh, what?
But that was very accurate to the book, because that's exactly what happens when she's like, he does the cut and it's like on top of her, and she's like, ah!
She's just there like shell shocked.
I know, like, because I was talking to Keely about this as well, because she's finished it all within like 8 hours of it being out, and I was like, you fucking nerd. Me and Deadly had to go to work, like, I know. Chunks. But yeah, she finished it so quick, and so she was like, oh, let me know. So I was like talking to her the whole way through, and she was like, when I imagined the cut, I imagined it the other way round, like directly down the middle, so sliced between the eyes, like that way. And I was like, yeah, but she was like, I'm a bit disappointed. I was like, this is Netflix. This is TV. I don't think we're going to see someone cut in half, brain down. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I think that's a more friendly way to do it. I don't know how I imagined it. How did you imagine it, Deadly?
I think it is described like right down the middle.
Yeah.
I think he like peels into two, but I think the way they did it.
Oh yeah, maybe yeah.
I think the way they did it worked. I think because the way the cut's described a few different ways. And I imagined it like that, just the way you angle it is the way it just slices.
I agree, like Fruit Ninja.
Yeah, Fruit Ninja.
That's exactly what I imagine, like Fruit Ninja cut.
But for Fiedins,
Fiedin Fruit Ninja cut.
Witch Hunters, bye. Speaking of Fiedin Fruit Ninjas, something that literally destroyed my heart like a fruit ninja was Matthias at the end saying, "You've lost my trust," because I knew it was coming.
He's like, "You've lost my trust." I was like, I'm gonna cry.
Like, they built it up so much, and like I knew it was coming because again, it happens in the books, and it's heartbreaking then. But to see it acted out after literally all of the Helmick scenes were basically from the book. Oh. That hurt me. That fruit ninja my heart. And I'm not gonna forgive him for that.
It was perfect but painful.
Yeah, like it had to happen because that's like a key part in Matthias and Nina's story. Because it's all about them rebuilding trust and that kind of thing. But it's like I can't deal They
I
they do
feel
it so well.
I feel like Matthias in the show, like, because Matthias in the books, he's so obviously very brainwashed by
Yes.
the Druskella and the Fjerdans and like that culture, and it's so obvious that he's like a almost robot like.
Yeah.
But like, I think in the show, I kind of quite like that they've made him a little bit more human,
Yeah.
and that he's like been tempted a bit more, because I don't think I really got that impression from. Maybe I did. I don't know. He's just very rigid and
He
but
really,
he's like
yeah.
really human in the show, and I really like that.
He
Like, I
really personifies
really
that
love
kind
that.
of like, you can see visually his struggle, because he really likes
Yes.
Nina and thinks she's really funny, but has also been told his whole life that Grisha are like witches and they'll beguile you and they have tricks. So he's trying to resist it, but then also being like, oh no, this girl's like great. And,
Yeah, because I think because we get it from like when we read his chapters in like Six of Crows, he's like, I hate everyone here. They're all witches and witch sympathizers.
Yeah.
Not Einesh though. I really do quite like Einesh, but everyone else, you can fuck off. But not Einesh. You know what? Einesh is looking healthy today, and I wonder if she's drank enough water. But Kaz could fucking burn in hell. Jesper, get the fuck away from me.
I love
Nina.
Matthias is.
I can't look at
then,
Nina because I'm so.
Oh my god, when he describes Nina, and it literally goes into like a whole chapter of him being like the sun glinting off her hair, and she's so perfect, and he's like, but I can't have these thoughts, must turn
I know,
away.
these thoughts are sin.
Oh.
I'm sinning, and then he's like, Einesh did a really cool trick today.
Yeah.
I really like.
He's just like, he literally stands Einesh, and I love it.
Yeah, we all stand Einesh like Matthias.
Yeah. I mean, honestly. And, like, I think what Leigh does anyway is she does really complex male characters as well as female characters.
Yeah.
And Matthias is a really fantastic lesson in kind of not believing what you've grown up with and unlearning your prejudices. And I think they've really started to do that really well in the show and show that kind of struggle.
Perfectly. Even I hate to say it, a little bit better than what she did in the book, because it took me a while. It took me ages. It took me to like Crooked Kingdom second half to really like Matthias. But I'm like loving him from the get go in this.
He's fantastic.
In the show.
It's because he's so sarcastic. And
I love him.
And like,
I just love him.
The minute that Nina makes him smile.
Stop it, my heart stopped.
Oh.
When he smiled, when he went, like, and he did that perfect smile, I just, like, I melted.
Literally,
like,
my heart cracked.
Melted.
You could feel,
my cheeks were hurting because I was smiling that much.
Like, and when they were just having that banter on the ice, and like, we got the Whalers Hut scene that was in my, I think it is in the Grishaverse episode. I was like, I hope we get the Whalers Hut scene, because that is one of my favourite book scenes. But they did it word for word. Like, even the dialogue was the same.
The only thing that I didn't expect was the tent to be that big, but that's because I had no concept of what the hell a whaler's tent looked like. So I just imagined a tiny little tent, but that looked like a fucking Airbnb.
Yeah, literally, I would stay there, absolutely.
I was like, oh my god, where can I get this Airbnb? Literally. Like, send me the link, please.
Honestly, I literally like
luxury.
I would happily stay there. We could do a whole Nina shoot. Give me some fur, happily.
I know.
Yeah, absolutely. Stan. And that kind of, I feel like we've naturally moved on to our likes just from discussing that. Yeah. So this is a great way to kind of lead into what we liked. Yeah,
so first on the list we have Fedior and Ivan.
Oh my god.
What? I literally died.
Like,
I'm sorry, first of all, whoever cast Fedior, you're trying to give me a heart attack. That man was fine. Like, gorgeous. He is brown cow stunning. I am obsessed. I'm simping big time. He's so beautiful. I just love him.
Like,
Ivan's a lucky man.
When he was like feeding him, and
that whole scene where he's like chasing him around with that little cake, and then he like goes, "What?"
Yeah.
And you're like, "Oh my god!"
And then
my heart.
I saw on Twitter earlier, someone screen capped it when Alina's doing her demonstration and everyone's like looking at her in awe. Fedra is still looking at Ivan. Like,
stop it. No.
So and they captioned it like, "Get you a man who looks at you even when there's a literal saint in the room," and that literally broke my
literally gonna
heart.
die.
Like,
What are we gonna do at the end when? Because like obviously Ivan got
offed.
He's dead. Ivan's offed on the skiff, and then Fedior went to
get Nina.
to get Nina, and so we're gonna find out.
Oh my god!
Dead, and I don't know what to do.
Watch us stand
I'm literally
Fedior
gonna die.
forever. Like,
my heart's gonna get ripped out of my chest. I liked Fedior in the books as well.
Yeah,
and
he's
I couldn't put my
great
finger
in
on
the
why, but I
books.
did.
like,
Yeah.
And I think just giving them that, because we all love that sunshine child and moody child relationship, but they were just so fun. And it brought that kind of, it made, because I think a lot in the books, like, yeah, you get glimpses into the other Grisha, but it made them more human and made you kind of realise that these Grisha are all characters that have their own lives. And we can love them all. Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I loved Fedior and Ivan. I think that I thought they were perfect. I loved, it's going to hurt when we see the aftermath of that, but it'd be interesting to see how Fedior feels towards the Darkling.
Yeah, I feel like it might turn him.
Because did that happen in the books that the Darkling was responsible? Because the Darkling specifically asked for them to split up.
Yeah, he does.
So I really can't. I can't see that going down well.
No, but I can't remember if the Darkling is responsible. Question mark.
I don't think the Darkling is responsible for Ivan's death in the book. So I like to see how that goes.
And I mean, we're always here for side character development and storylines, especially if it's Fedior, because
that's what I thrive on.
We love him.
Moving on.
This note kills me off.
Okay, no, I feel like we're gonna get cancelled if we say this.
No, say it. Live your truth.
Oh God. Okay, so the next thing on the likes. We've said likes, but it's not from a likes because I like him as a character.
Oh, he's an awful character.
He's horrible. Pekka Rollins, Jesus Christ. What the fuck is he drinking? Because he's hot.
Daddy's drinking the Pekka Rollins Kool-Aid. I mean, so am I.
Pekka Daddy Rollins.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Pekka Rollins is a piece of shit. I'm not saying that he's good.
Awful. But
the guy is high-key fine.
Wait,
with that,
this is like
beard.
the meme where it's like, we all love a bad boy, don't we? And it's like, not a fucking
but not
terrorist.
a fucking terrorist, Darren. I know. I'm sorry. I'm literally not even saying that I like. He's horrible. Like, I don't even like Pekka Rollins in the book. I just don't like him. But I literally.
But
I'm such a sucker for a Scottish accent.
Why did they do that? They literally didn't have to go so hard.
I know.
I'm like, but that means we're going to get some really fire stuff with Kaz later on, and
when he was like kneeling on Kaz, I was like, oh my God. Literally, I couldn't deal. I can't deal with that. Like, the thirst in me was, I was parched. I needed a drink, and yeah, it threw me. But no, I just thought that Pekka was hot. I don't like him. He's horrible.
Well, yeah,
but
we've established that he's a horrible person, but he's was
hotty.
boring.
He's daddy. Oh God, I hate saying that.
Kills me off. Okay, let's go from daddy to literally the saviour of the show, Milo. Milo,
Milo,
the
Milo,
Milo,
MVP.
Milo, we love
Milo, Milo.
Who knew a goat could bring us so much joy?
So, oh my God, I can't remember the guy's name. The guy,
the conductor,
the conductor. The fact that the conductor got Milo for Jesper's like support animal makes me die. Also, if anybody's watched The Musketeers, the conductor is in The Musketeers. He's Porthos.
Oh.
Just a nice little fun fact for you today, because he looks very different. He doesn't look like Porthos, and obviously Luke Pasqualino is also in the Musketeers as D'Artagnan.
Yeah.
So 2 of the 4 Musketeers are in the show, but that's just a really annoying IMDb fact from me because I'm a nerd. But anyway, I love Milo. I was dying seeing Kaz carrying Milo.
Oh my god!
Just gave me all the serotonin.
Oh,
When Jesper was like with his gun and was like
whilst holding Milo.
Whilst holding Milo, like, Milo, I'll protect you. That was the push he needed to whack out his guns.
The Volcra
He's like
were
sharpshooter.
Trying to get
the Volcra were like, no, and he was like, time to die, bitch. Oh. Milo's gonna live to see another day. Milo the king. Milo who let Malian out of jail.
Literally. The
real
MVP.
MVP of the whole thing.
Like Sankt-YA Milo. That is
Sankt-YA Milo.
Here we are. We stand. We love. Honestly, I hope Milo gets a little cameo in season 2 if we get a season 2.
Milo best have a reoccurring fucking appearance in every single season.
Milo is the one. And like, I shared some art with Dani on Twitter. Oh my god.
Wylan who? We only have Milo now.
Literally. Like, I shared some art with Twitter. I shared some art with Dani on Twitter, and it was the dregs, and Milo was one of the dregs, and that just makes my life. And like, yeah, I mean, I feel like Wylan and Milo have similar energy.
I agree. I think that Wylan and Milo have similar energy.
They're both there for Jesper's support and something for him to hug.
Oh my god, I just loved that. I thought that was a really cute add-on. I loved it.
That's the kind of stuff we love, though. Like, we were discussing on our little planning call, the stuff we love is, obviously we love all the stuff in the books, but we love just the little add-ins that add such, like, humour.
We love the mundane stuff, and this is what Deadly and I liked about Shadowhunters. We didn't like a lot, but we really liked the mundane stuff. So, like, in Shadowhunters is like a joke that's made about like book club, and that is just the funniest thing ever because it's just so out of character. Yeah, it's really mundane and just really like normal.
Yeah,
and you wouldn't find that in fantasy usually. So we just really thought that was really entertaining, and we just love the little bits in like Shadow and Bone, like when Kaz turns to Inej and Jesper, and he's like, Jess. Like, would Kaz ever say Jess like that?
That's so funny.
And then like Jesper's like, oh, it means it's Suli for like best friend ever or something. I can't remember the exact quote. And then like Inej is like, no, it's not. That's just so mundane and funny. Like, I just love it.
I also loved when Jesper was getting a drink at the bar and Inej drank it, and then he got another one and Kaz drank it, and he was just there like, It was so good.
He was like, oh, I just love it. And like, do you know what? This is just another thing. This is just a simp moment for me. You know what I love when they're at the Crow Club and like Kaz knocks back that drink. It's the hottest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. And he's in his like waistcoat and he's like,
yeah,
and his hair, and he tips it back. I just did the motion, but you can't see me. Yeah. And his hair like flips back, and I was like, more of that, please.
Just this on a loop. That would be great.
That on a loop. Like, it plays on a loop in my mind, to be honest, because it was that
to be honest.
Attractive.
I mean, that is... I feel like the whole cast is just unfairly attractive. And also they look like they had so much fun. Like, I have never seen this many behind-the-scenes images.
Stuff. I know. Wow. We've really been blessed. Honestly. Like, this cast is perfect. They are fantastic. Like, they just obviously are very into like being in the fandom, and that makes me really happy. Like, I love it when people like they care and they're not like distanced.
Yeah, they're really involved. And like the actor of Jesper, he posted on Twitter a video of him like practicing twirling the guns, because he said like he literally learned it for the role. And he was just like, oh, it's so much fun, da, da, da. And then like videos of him and the actress of Inej like dancing to Billie Eilish Bad Guy. And then at the end they turn to Kaz in his trailer.
I just love the friendship. I feel like I hate to compare it, because I'm not even comparing it in the slightest, because Shadowhunters is crap. But like, we kind of had a similar thing with Shadowhunters.
We loved
that, like,
the
cast were really good friends, and like that just gives me so much serotonin.
Well, it's like
I think it's because we've been stung in the past with horrible
oh
cast,
my god,
like the Mortal Instruments
yeah.
film.
But I think was it Inez's post where she captioned it like "found family" or something, and I literally. Because that's like the whole point of Six of Crows is like found family.
Found family, yeah. Oh my god, stop! It's actually giving me.
It makes me emotional.
I'm crying right now because I just love it so much. What the hell is wrong with this? Like, why are we so emotionally invested in this show?
Well, and like both of us have really like it's been a long time since we've been in this like fandom brain space. Like I think about it all day. I know.
I feel like, you know, when like I've said this before, like I've not been this excited about anything since like the Hunger Games came out, and like I was a massive Hunger Games stan. Like I had like a Hunger Games stan account, like I was doing bits, so I just haven't even like the slightest bit and then before that it was Harry Potter, but I'm still in my Harry Potter phase now, so but to be in that like mindset again about something new.
Literally.
It's really wild. Like it like just feels good to have a good adaptation of something again.
And like because like again I'm gonna go on about Nina again because I love Nina. In case you all hadn't known, she's probably one of my favourite fictional characters ever. But I have a Nina Zedek playlist, and I can't listen to it at the moment because I get too emotional. Like I'm at that stage where if I think about Nina and her character arc, and even just how they portrayed her in the show and how perfect it is, I get emotional. I'm like, who am I? Like, take us back to Tumblr. We've escaped.
I know. Maybe if I went on my Tumblr, because I still use my Tumblr. Good luck trying to find it, because you won't. But I still use it. I'm thinking if I go on now, would it come up with like Six of Crows and...
Oh my god!
Like Shadow and Bone stuff, because I used it prolifically when Shadowhunters was on.
Yeah.
So and there was a lot of content on there, but I don't know if I would see any Six of Crows and like.
I mean, I think
Shadow and Bone.
A lot of, especially both of our Twitters, are very Shadow and Bone heavy at the moment.
Oh my god, my Twitter's like
literally
popping off.
Every other post, I'm like, hi.
I know, and I love it
because I used to. It reminds me of. A little bit of Shadowhunters, not much. I feel like this is like Shadowhunters 2.0 because I used to go on Twitter after Shadowhunters and look at all the tweets. But this is like a whole other level. I love to see the love and just people's little screen caps, and they're so funny. Like someone edited the Shadow and Bone poster where everyone is Milo.
Yeah, my TikTok's popping off with like Shadow and Bone, like Jasper edits, Kaz literally edits about everyone. Literally, it's so good. Everyone's so creative and fun. Like I just love the fandom. Like, hopefully it doesn't go toxic. Please don't go toxic because I really don't. I'm really loving it right now.
Yeah, completely.
So I'm hoping it stays the same.
I know. I need to. I actually do think that adding in the dregs was a really smart choice because we touched on it in our Grishaverse episode. The Shadow and Bone storyline is just classic YA. Like it's fine, but it doesn't set the world on fire. Whereas I think without the comedy relief of the dregs, it would have been a different show.
Yeah, I think that it would not have been as like effective. My only concern with it is that I don't know what the hell we're gonna do in the next season. Because this kind of messes the timeline up.
It really does, because obviously Six of Crows happens after like the third book in the... I don't know if they're going to introduce some elements from Six of Crows in... I thought they might, because it's something to do with like powering up Grisha. No, like very light spoiler. I don't know if they're going to have to go and get that because maybe the Darkling wants to use it for Alina or wants to use it for himself. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't think so. I don't think that they can even introduce that yet. There's that aspect of like with the drug. I don't think that they can introduce that until Alina's finished.
Yeah. So I don't know
because how.
Unless they go on other hijinks with... Because at the end they mentioned they need a heartrender. And Nina obviously overheard and was like, oop.
But like Nina does work with Kaz and the Dregs
Previously,
before. Yeah. So maybe they'll do that. I think that would be nice to see because that'd be new for us, and it will be new for people that haven't read the book. So
I think they
that
will
would be
have
good.
to do that. Because Matthias,
Yeah, that's gonna take a while to get out of
it
that.
takes a while. Like the person said, Matthias is gonna go to the prison, and that does take a while. So I think maybe we'll just have other Well, there'll be other heists, with the Dregs with Nina to start to solidify that bond, and maybe we'll get introduced to Wylan.
How?
Maybe
just Wylan and his dad. We get to see Wylan
that's
separate
what I was
from
thinking.
the Dregs.
Like Wylan before he gets kicked out, and then maybe at the end of the season he'll get kicked out, and then because I feel like they could build up Wylan as a character.
Yeah, I think we should. I think would like to get to know Wylan a bit more.
Yeah, me too.
Before, I think that would be nice. Hopefully they do it like that, and we don't speed it up because I don't think it would work if that storyline
ran alongside
sped up. I don't think it would work. So fingers crossed they don't try and do that. I'm happy for there to be multiple seasons of this. So
happily.
Just take your time.
Literally. I mean, it hasn't been confirmed as of recording this podcast. It hasn't been confirmed for season 2.
I reckon it's going to be renewed, so I'm not really worried. Also, sorry, by the way, did you see that they're casting Percy Jackson?
No.
Did you not see?
No.
They're casting Percy Jackson and they're blind casting, so then he could not be white.
Oh my god. I'll die.
And
I'll actually die.
To play a 12-year-old, so they're doing it age
accurate. Oh my god.
Sorry.
That's okay. Well,
I just had to tell you.
Oh my god, I'm so excited. Yeah, so I mean, assuming there's a season 2, there has to be a season 2. They've put too much into it so far. Anyway,
there's going to be a season 2. I just announce it already. For goodness sake.
Literally.
There's going to be a season 2. We know there is.
Yeah, because like so many people. I think this coming weekend there's like people doing a watch-a-thon like party to try and get Netflix to announce season 2.
Well, I'll be joining them for that because I'm setting up my new TV this weekend, so I'll be watching. It's on the big screen. I can't wait.
Oi.
Moving on, I think another thing that we like, we've already sort of spoken about the cast being diverse, that we really liked that they changed Alina to being Shu, and obviously they cast Zoya as a woman of colour, and which is canon, but I just, we really reappreciated it.
I think
it just
even
made
like,
all the difference.
The background Grisha having like black characters and mixed race characters, like it was really
like that squaller at the start. I was like, get it, queen.
Literally, I was
loved
like,
her.
Yes.
I literally loved her, and like that whole scene with the lantern.
Oh my god!
She was like, and she was going, "Bring it on!" I was like, "Yes, die in style, bitch!" Sorry, your mum has just like liked all of my stuff on Strava, and it was just buzzing up.
Incredible.
When she was like, "Come and get me," I was like, "What a queen!"
She
literally
was amazing.
It gave me goosebumps.
Yeah,
I loved her.
That whole scene with the lantern was so good. I was like,
it was so good.
I was like, we're in good hands. Because
I was like, why are you lighting that, you idiot?
Oh my god.
It's blue for a reason.
We knew he was a goner anyway. But like...
Yeah.
But it was... I think what they did really well is, again, with the diverse casting and the immersion and the world building, is they just made it feel real. And it was just so refreshing and nice, obviously, racism aside, to have kind of a fantasy world that wasn't just white people.
I know, yeah.
Because the books themselves are diverse in their...
Yeah.
So I feel like
they could be more diverse.
Oh, completely.
But I think that they're pretty diverse. And I think that, I'm not sure if she wrote Zoya as half Suli to begin with, or she just thought, shit,
better. Maybe
I should have made her I don't know. We don't know.
Yeah.
That could be wrong from my perspective.
I mean, it's tricky because, I don't know. Because, the first books are quite, until, the second book with other characters.
Yes. Oh, okay. Yeah. No. Yeah.
Um,
I forgot about that.
yeah, but then obviously with
Maybe that was
63.
mean of me. Maybe she was. I don't know. I just didn't get the impression until it was like explicitly mentioned.
Yeah, well, I guess
No, that's a lie. Actually, maybe it was. Maybe I definitely resonated with her, and I could see myself a lot in Zoya. So I definitely did see her as a woman of color.
Yeah.
So maybe that was just me being harsh. I don't know, but I think that I think adding the extra diversity to the show was a good idea.
It was really lovely.
Do you know what really baffles me when Netflix do well like this? Because like, from what I've heard about this Avatar adaptation, I don't understand who's making these two different shows, because now they wanted to whitewash that.
Yeah.
But they're making this more diverse. It's confusing.
It's bizarre.
It really is confusing.
But like, I think even I think Leigh gave an interview about making Alina Shu, because that was her decision. ?
Yeah, I think this really just goes to show that it's so worth listening to the author, because Cassie made that mistake twice. She should have pushed for more input. She shouldn't have just, I hate to say this, like she shouldn't have sold out.
Yeah.
She should have really pushed for her work to have been appreciated and done properly. And I always thought to myself, if I ever wrote a book, I would definitely demand the best.
Yeah, completely.
And I hope that Sarah does the same with Akatar.
Oh, that's the danger. We should hope. I mean,
I don't
she seems
think
like
she will, but
yeah. I mean,
do you think she would? I think she'd just kind of give it and let them take the reins with it.
Get the check. I don't know.
No, I don't think she'd get the check. I just don't think she's very assertive in that sort of way.
Yeah.
In the way that I could imagine Leigh being quite assertive
Oh,
in
yeah.
what she wanted.
Leigh's literally there in a kefta, like, bitch.
Yeah, on set, like, get me in. But I can't imagine Sarah even wanting to be involved in that. She's quite reclusive.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
I don't know how that's going to go.
There was
She could surprise me.
Yeah, I saw a little clip of an interview with Leigh, and she said that she was on set and Ben Barnes like snuck up behind her and said, like, in his British accent, like, fine, make me your villain, and apparently she just started crying. And I was like, yeah,
pass out.
Yeah, so would I.
If Ben Barnes snuck up behind me, whispered in my ear, fine, make me your villain, I would cease to exist. I would expire right there and then. I'd be like, peace out, and I'd like die straight on the spot.
Literally just crumple.
Wait, so like, shh, make me your villain. Oh my god.
That was.
Oh my god.
Oh. I mean, him as the Darkling in general, fantastic. All those
Jesus.
swirling cloak.
Fuck's sake, Ben Barnes as the fucking Darkling. What? He's perfect. I'm sorry.
They really said, hi sir, like, oh.
They really said, hi, 11-year-old Dani who sent over Prince Caspian. Here you go. That is Sirius Black, that is. Did you, sorry, if anybody's like a Marauders fan, did you all see the interview with Ben Barnes where they were like, who's your favourite Harry Potter character? And he was like, and the interview was like, if you don't say Sirius Black, a lot of people are going to be upset. And he was like, yeah, I'm really flattered that people like call me Sirius Black. And I was like, oh my god, he's acknowledging the fact that he's like the Fanca Sirius, because he's just always been the Fanca Sirius ever since I was like 12. So this is really coming full circle for me.
Yeah, literally.
That he's actually playing like a character in like from a book series.
Yeah,
like it's giving me like a load of serotonin.
Well, was it you that told me about Jessie in an interview saying she used to have a poster of Prince Caspian?
Yeah, Jessie was like, oh, I'm a huge Narnia fan, and I had a massive poster of like the Prince Caspian movie poster. So it was like Ben on my wall, and now we work together, and she's like kissed him multiple times, like. She's also living my dream.
Yeah. Also, can we talk about the kissing multiple times? That when he leaves and then runs back and kisses her, that was unscripted.
Stop.
Like,
the fact that was unscripted. Oh my god.
But also,
my knees would give out. I'd literally collapse and be like, oh my god,
also,
I'd be jelly.
It kills me because we know that Jessie was a fan already. Imagine being on set and then Ben Barnes fucking runs up and kisses you without you being prepared.
No, I can't.
Like,
I can't.
Unreal.
I'm so jealous. If I ever meet Ben Barnes, I don't know what I'll do. Imagine like Netflix approach us, Deadly, and they're like, hey, we listened to your podcast, we really enjoyed it. Do you want to interview the cast? What
Well-
will we do?
Well, I'd literally vomit on site.
I'd be like,
Oh my god, I wouldn't.
oh my god.
I'd literally,
We would not be good.
because I don't think there's one character I don't stan. So I would
Yeah.
literally be unable to talk to them. Imagine me trying to interview Nina.
What, in her Irish accent? Like,
Oh
she's
my
so
god,
cute. I love
I
her.
love her.
We are really going off on one. We need to get back to
Oh
what
my
the fuck
god,
we're talking
oh my
about.
god, look at how long we've been recording. Okay, so I think that the attention to detail they paid to the costumes, unmatched. Like, the
Literally beautiful
kefta
costumes.
are described so well in the books, like all the embroidery and the like, but they made them better. Like, having each order have different embroidery, and then each kind of subcategory within that order having different embroidery again.
Oh my god, I literally died. It was so good, and I was really worried. Like, I remember when I saw the concept art for Keftas, and I just went, "Oh,
Yeah.
I'm not sure." But then when I saw that on screen, like what they went with in the end, I was like, "That is beautiful," and that is nearly exactly what I imagined.
Yeah, completely.
Maybe a little bit more curly. I don't know, the embroidery. Maybe I imagined it a little bit more like swirly, but maybe that's just
Well, that's the thing. Is like, I think it is. It depends on obviously the order, but then obviously having like the Inferni's embroidery looking like fire, and then David's materiality
Blue.
like looking it was kind of foreshadowing that his embroidery kind of looked like stag horns, like
yeah.
it's so good.
And
And then
like, it was
Alina's looking
blue.
like so good.
It was like the blue and the red. I really liked. I really
Yeah.
liked that combo, and
And
I
Jenya's
don't
white.
know. I just
It was
Jenya's white hefta. I
beautiful.
loved that.
Incredible.
I'm sorry, how have we not spoke about Jenya or fucking David? I'm sorry. I was literally living. Jenya and David literally were killing me. And I
Like-
love David so much. That's another thing. The bit with, I've said this to Deadly yesterday, where like Jesper opens the carriage, and David throws the book at him, and then like he gets out the other side, and like Kaz smacks him in the face. I have never felt more conflicted in my entire life, because it was the hottest thing ever seeing Kaz smack someone in the face with that cane, because it was a personal fantasy of mine to be smacked in the face with that same cane. But I literally it triggered my fight, because I wanted to fight him for hitting David around the face, because
Literally.
I love David so much. I
Like,
would protect him with my life.
Protect David.
So
at all costs.
it was a mixed feelings for me. I was going, David, but Kaz just smacked him, and it was really hot. But David, my baby. But Kaz was beautiful when he did that, and that was a phenomenal shot. And then like Jesper came through, and he was like, he threw a book at me, and I was like,
And the
this
book
is
was Shadow and Bone.
yeah, the book was
Like,
Shadow and Bone, but like in Ravkan.
Yeah, in Ravkan. But also
I
like
love that.
the scene when Jenya looks back at David and he looks away, and then she looks back and he looks back at her. I'm sorry.
No,
We didn't
I'm
ask
sorry.
for this. We didn't ask to
ask
be
for the pain.
wounded. Oh my god.
And like flustered Jenya. I just
Yeah,
died.
and then that's what I really liked, is they showed Alina and Jenya's friendship and like banter really well. When she was like, "Ooh, you like that word?" Ooh.
Oh my
And
god.
Jenya was like, "Shut up." Perfect. Literally perfect.
And when David did his little like
The little
hand
finger.
up, and he was like, that kind of was really funny, but also kind of, I don't know, I was like, a really interesting way to do that, but it was funny. I did like
And
it.
then when the Darkling was like, "Yes, David."
He was like, David, yes, David, what can I do? Why was that so funny? It was so weirdly out of character, but it was so funny. It
was
worked. It was
perfect.
kind of weird. I didn't not like it, but I was also like, this is kind of odd
It
to
was
like
hilarious.
see.
I think David
I really
was
liked it.
perfect the whole way through. Like,
I loved David.
I'm ready
Luke
for more.
Pasqualino with David was a fantastic choice.
Yeah, completely. And like Jenya is literally how I imagined her in the book. Like
Yeah, same.
and especially how they translated her powers, like when she did the eyeshadow from the beetle's wing. I was
Yeah.
like, this is it, because that's like the whole point of the small science. Is it isn't magic, is you're taking something that's already like in the fabric of the universe and just manipulating
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Um,
Also,
oh,
Deadly and I have decided to never call it magic again. It's just the small science from
Yeah.
now on.
Yeah.
So we're going to go small science wand, small science. I've got the small science in me.
Just like small
Oh,
science.
it's small. Oh, it's small science. You know.
Never believe it's not so.
Yeah. Small science.
Honestly, the small science roundabout.
Small science stars.
Oh my god, that kills me every time when they're like, it's not magic, it's the small science. I'm like, okay,
It's a
but
small science.
it's literally magic, so...
Sorry. When they said no mourners, no funerals, wow.
Tattoo
To hear that
that
come out of
on
actual-
my face.
Tattoo it on my ass.
Yeah. One on each cheek.
No mourners on one cheek, no funerals on the other.
Perfect. We can get
So it would
matching.
be with me forever. Yeah. Or you could get it on your butt cheek and I get it on my butt cheek. I'll get no
Perfect.
mourners, you'll get no funerals.
Perfect. Love that. But yeah, no, to
Or
hear
on,
them
on my
actually say
tits.
it. Perfect. I literally, when they said it, I got goosebumps because it's such an
same.
ingrained part of the book, the fandom, everything.
No mourners, no funerals.
Oh,
I literally loved it. I love how the next thing on the list is all the gays.
all the gays.
All
They
the
gave us
gays.
gays, and like
Gays on gays on gays.
we talked about this personally as well, but people were like, "Oh, Jasper should have waited for another character," and
We've already mentioned. Yeah. Okay.
yeah. And like the whole point of Jasper as a character is that he is a man whore. Like he is so charismatic and he sleeps with everything. He's a gambler. He's a sharpshooter.
Jasper's a bit of a fuck boy. He's a bit of a fuck
literally
boy. And you
is.
know what? We love that. That's what we like about Jasper. So the fact that he was having a little bit of rollabout in the hay with the
Literally
stable
rolling about in
boy.
the hay. Oh my god.
With the stable boy. Wow, that was really creative
Also,
of whoever
it
wrote
was
that.
amazing to see that on screen as well, because a lot of people would kind of just allude to it, but to have
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
literally,
I saw like loads of TikToks. Everyone was like, "Yeah, there's a sex scene," and everyone thought it was going to be Dark Lena, but it was like actually Jasper and the stable boy. I was like, "That is very in character."
literally,
I loved it.
I loved it.
Yeah.
I like having, just having all the gays. I lived. It's great.
Yeah, a lot of like it was nice to see queer representation.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it, and it just felt really natural. Like we said, we like it when it feels natural.
Yeah, it's not
And it doesn't feel
tokenistic.
like forced. Yeah, and
Yeah.
tokenistic. So I just felt great to see it on the screen, and it felt great. I loved it.
Our next day is literally just Inej being amazing.
And Inej was phenomenal, perfect. Her and Kaz's relationship.
Oh.
Fuck! How could that get any more perfect?
It's when he said
I
he
have
needed
no
her.
words.
When he said
Oh
he
my
needed
God.
her.
No,
Oh
when he said
my god.
she's not like you. You're one of a kind. I only buy. She was like, "You're one of a kind," and he's like, "No one's like you." I was like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna die." I literally couldn't.
Like,
She's like, "Maybe I won't be here when you get back."
she was so
Like,
bad.
have a
Like,
domestic.
they really represented her faith as well, because that is something that's so important to Inej as a character, is the saints and kind of her morals in who she will and won't kill, or what jobs she does
Yeah.
and doesn't take.
And her beliefs, and
It was so
I love
good.
that they kind of like hinted that Kaz understood that in his own way, like when he said, "Come on, like gather your saints," when she threw that knife at the Grisha, and he was like trying to understand where she was coming from, and he wouldn't normally make the effort,
No.
so you can tell that he really cares about her, and in like Kaz's weird way. And I think that the way they did it, even if you hadn't read the books and you didn't know about their relationship beforehand, you can tell, and you wouldn't be able to normally from that little interaction. But because they play, their chemistry is fantastic. Amita and Kaz's actor, which we cannot remember the name of because we're brain farting because we've been talking for too long, but their chemistry is fantastic, and you can tell he gets a little bit nervous. I just love him. I just think they're fantastic. Inez is literally phenomenal. The way she's like throwing knives left, right, and centre is sick.
And when she was on the silks as well.
Oh my gosh, yeah, when she did her like acrobatic.
Incredible.
Holy shit.
Like,
amazing, yeah.
And when she threw a knife and it hit the Darkling.
In the chest, yeah. I love that whole bit.
That was like...
That
was all our fandoms, like... Because obviously in the books, Inej never meets the Darkling.
No.
And we're always like, the Wraith could have got a fucking shot at him. But she
I know.
did.
And then like that whole section where... sorry, this is just coming away from Inej for a second. That, like, Kaz and the Darkling met. And then he did that, like smoke bomb thing to go away from her. I was like, what is going on?
I was like, what in the Wattpad is happening?
I know what in the Wattpad is going on. Like, why would these two ever meet? Like, it's wild.
Literally, they did that really for the fangirl screams. Like...
They did it for like the girls that love the bad boys to have like a complex. And I'm not gonna lie, I had a little bit of a complex over it, but it didn't feel out of place, weirdly.
No, but it was just, I literally went, I was like, not Casbracker and the Darkling meeting, no.
When worlds collide.
Literally. Speaking of Casbracker, can we all take a moment of silence for Kaz in a beret?
Kaz in a beret? Actor Kaz. His acting was phenomenal as well. When he was like acting with an actor, and he was like, "I'm the architect." I was like,
literally. And like, because the way we view Kaz is this amazing mastermind behind all these heists and stuff, but to see him in action and to see that he can literally do it all.
Exactly. And you know, like, what I really enjoyed was like the way that when they explained through the heists, when he was
Incredible.
like, when they was going through like how they worked out, and Kaz was doing his like voiceover, I freaking loved that. So every time they do a heist, I really hope that they keep doing that in that way where they go through the heist and
and then and you see it happening. It's I mean, Inej when she was literally it was like a heist movie. It was great, but when Inej was behind the guard and he was turning and she was turning. Oh, that was choreographed to perfection.
And like the way that it showed Kaz looking into the dressing room, and then he saw the double, but he thought that was Alina, and then it went back, and he was like, "I knew it was a double all along," and I was like, "This is perfect. This is exactly how I imagined it in the books." I loved that.
Yeah, it had that vibe that the books do, where you're like, "Oh, this is an amazing heist," but also it has such a a sense of humor about it, or like just that kind of motion to it where it's like, and we knew that it was a double and this happened and now Jesper's a guard, and it's like, it just great.
Yeah, it's like we knew. It's because I think because we've read the books, we knew that they were going to fail getting Alina because they couldn't have gotten her and taken her back to Ketterdam. They couldn't have, because that just would derail the whole story. So it was, I was like, maybe they will fail. Maybe they won't. When he looked in and thought he saw Alina, I thought maybe he thought that was going to be Alina, and then they were going to get the wrong person.
Yeah,
that's what I thought might happen. But it didn't. Like, they outsmarted even the people that had read the book, but it didn't feel bad.
I did not see that coming. Where they tailored...
I didn't see the decoy coming, and that was so silly of me, because why didn't I see that decoy coming? But it still shocked me.
We were like, huh? My God.
Yeah.
And like.
But I really loved that. I thought that was really well done, the way that they did the heists, and they managed to shock even the people that had read the books, because we knew we knew they were going to fail, but we didn't know how, and it was just really clever, and I just really liked it. I thought that was really good.
Yeah, I mean, we really enjoyed how they did the heists, and we kind of wish that, well, we want them to do more of that in season 2, and that kind of leads us to where we're going to finish off, is kind of talking about what we want for season 2. I know, obviously, hasn't been confirmed yet, but it's coming. It has to.
Yeah, I think it's going to definitely come. I think they'd be silly not to.
Yeah.
Imagine it not getting renewed now. I just can't. But yeah, I think we're really excited to see more of like Nina and Matthias.
Oh.
But now we've sort of spoken about that, I'm not sure we will get any Nina and Matthias in the next one.
That's going to be the
not
torture.
A lot anyway.
No, because she doesn't even see him until... I can't say that. She
until later on.
Yeah, she doesn't see him until later on in the story because of the whole it takes a
prison
year
thing
for the testifying in court to happen. So I don't think we'll be getting much more Nina and Matthias, even though we love it.
Yeah.
And I think, we definitely will be getting more Nina.
Yeah, definitely.
And we might get some Matthias in the prison.
I think we'll get Matthias in prison, and I think we'll probably get some like dreams or
because he does dream of her. He dreams of her.
Yeah.
Because then when
I think that would be a good way to do it.
I keep wanting to say things, but they're all spoilers.
I know. It's hard, isn't it?
Yeah. And I think we'll see Matthias warring with his own feelings about Nina, and then also the fact that she's said he's a slaver.
Yeah, and the war with him wanting to keep his Droskella identity, and then him wanting to be a better person. I think we'll get to see that a lot in the next season, which I'm excited for.
Yeah.
Six of Crow storyline, we also kind of sort of talked about that before.
About that.
But we want to see what they do with the Six of and we said the crows. Deadly and nearly said the crows. The dregs. I want to see what they're doing with the dregs. Hopefully we get some Wylan. Hopefully
I'll die for Wylan.
The dregs. We have some more heists with the dregs.
Yes.
And we get, I hope so. And we see more of Ketterdam because we've not been in Ketterdam a lot. So hopefully we get to see some of that. We'll see if maybe we'll see if Kaz gets the Crow Club back.
Oh yeah, and the stuff with Helene. That might be. They might have to heist Helene.
Maybe they might have to buy Helene's shares of
Inej.
Yeah, maybe we'll see. That might be what they do.
They might have to go and get the money, like steal something.
Because I know they have the necklace, but I feel like that's too easy.
I feel like it's going to open with the necklace being stolen off them or something.
Oh, Jesus,
And then they're going to have to go get it. And then that might be how it leads into Wylan, because obviously in Six of Crows... no.
That might be how we meet Wylan.
I think it'll lead into people that are related to Wylan, because they can steal from them.
Yes, I do. I agree, actually. That's a good point.
I think that would be a really clever way to do it.
And
I
think that's a really good prediction. I think we might be right, Deadly.
Yeah.
Watch us come and regret those words.
Honestly, we'll be no, they actually. I don't know what they're going to do, but
they're just going to do the storyline we don't want.
I am nervous about Wylan because who are they going to cast? But then also,
I'm telling you now, the guy from Peaky Blinders.
Yeah, he would be perfect. He literally would be perfect.
If you've seen Peaky Blinders, it's Finn. People are fan casting, but he's perfect.
He'll be literally perfect.
Great. He'd be great as Wylan. He's about the right age as well.
Yeah.
The most important question is who they're going to cast as a certain privateer and who they're going to cast as some of the new characters that we get to meet.
Yeah, on his crew.
In his crew, because that's going to be really fun and exciting and make it even more diverse and more exciting, and they're really exciting characters and I can't wait because these guys are my favourites. So I'm really excited to see who they cast and if they work well with the new cast. I'm sure that they will. I'm sure that's going to be part of it, that they're going to make sure that they all gel. So that'll be really exciting to see. I can't wait. Are they going to have a Milo cameo in the next season? They better do.
Please.
I'll sue.
Yeah.
I don't want any more Milo erasure because they missed him off the icons on Netflix. I was going to change it to Milo. I had to settle for Jesper, and I don't say that lightly. I don't just settle for Jesper.
There isn't even a Nina. Because I went and wanted to change. There's no Nina or Matthias. I
went and changed it to Jesper.
You can be cast as fucking Kane.
You can be Morozova's fucking stag, but you can't be Nina or Matthias
I feel like they
or
definitely
Milo.
missed a trick not being Milo. Like Milo, everyone would have chosen Milo. 100%.
I'm surprised they've not just shoved him up there.
So am I, to be honest.
Yeah, and then the last thing on the list is something we've already sort of spoke about, is Fedia and Ivan. When Fedia's going to find out about Ivan's death,
that's
we're
going
really
to break my heart. And then also, I think, as we've mentioned, a certain privateer coming in. I'm really interested to see how they handle his storyline. And just character interactions is what we're here for. We're ready.
I'm really excited to see. I don't know, I think the second book's probably my least favourite out of all of them.
It's a slow book.
Is it?
I think the third book's my least favourite.
Yeah, maybe the third book is. I just don't enjoy the bits where like Mal and Alina are on their own.
Oh, that's the start.
But that could
very
change
slow.
my mind. Yeah, the start of that book. I hope they like.
I'm like,
that.
but there's, without going into spoiler territory too much, there's a few more like fantasy-based creatures.
Oh yes, there is. Yeah.
And I'm really interested to see how they translate that, because I thought how they translated the stag was interesting. Wasn't exactly how I pictured it.
Yeah, can we just talk about that stag for a second? How the hell did that make that through the woods for many years and not get caught with its fucking antlers
Huge,
the size of a house?
Antlers, literally. So I'm curious to see what the next mythical beast that we encounter is going to look like.
Yeah.
And I think I'm ready to be on this ride, because I fully trust this cast and think that they are phenomenal. Really?
Yeah. I'm excited for the next season, which we know is going to happen now. I'm going with it. It's already confirmed.
Has to.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that brings us to the end. I was a bit mismatched. I am sorry if you wanted a very succinct review. That's not how we roll in YABasic. It's just a mess of a conversation that we include you in.
That's what we do.
Yeah. So, hope that you enjoyed this episode, and I hope that you enjoyed Shadow and Bone as much as we did.
Yes.
And we're all on the hype train together.
Yeah, absolutely. Until like our next episode, we've got some fun things planned, but as always, we'd love to hear from you on social media. Tell us your favourite bits of the show, tell us what you want to see happen. We kind of have read all of the series, so you don't have to worry about spoilers with us. And we love to chat to you guys, so we are...
Yeah, send us your best Milo pics, please.
Yes, and waffles. Send us waffles.
Yes, waffle pics and Milo pics. Thank you all for listening, guys. We love you.
Yeah. Until next time, no mourners.
No funerals. Bye.
Bye.